Hey everybody, today we're talking about the ABRSM Grade 1 Tuned Percussion Solo Morning Sunlight by Arthur Lipner, which is really exciting for me. I used to play a lot of Arthur Lipner when I was a young student. He's a fantastic jazz musician and also a composer, so this is quite exciting to see Arthur Lipner in here. Now, the first thing I do when I'm playing a tuned percussion solo is I've got to check the key signature. So that's at the very beginning, and it tells us either what sharps or flats, the accidentals, which are these top notes, tells us which ones of those we need to be playing. And as you can see, there are no sharps and no flats in this one. So, fantastic. That means all the notes we play are going to be right down here on the white keys. The white keys being, if this were a piano, these would be black and these would be white. The next thing I look at is the time signature. Now, the time signature tells us how many beats per measure we have and what kind of notes get those beats. So this says 3/4, and the top note tells us there will be 3 beats per measure. And the bottom note tells us what kind of notes those are going to be. So if we think of it like a fraction, 3/4, if you've gotten into fractions yet, 3/4 means there are 3/4 of something, and a fourth is a quarter of something. So we have 3 quarter notes per measure. All right? The next thing I like to do before I start a piece is understand any instructions Mr. Lipner, or the composer, may have given us. So I look just above the first measure, and Mr. Lipner has written the word cantabile. All right? You may not know that word, cantabile. Now that's a very specific musical definition, and it means song-like, all right? It means a smooth singing style, so we want to treat this, even though we're playing the glockenspiel, as though we can sing it and that we would be singing it out loud, all right? Now the other thing I like to look at is the title. Oftentimes the title really helps us sort of set the mood for what we want to play, and this is called Morning Sunlight. So I think that's a really nice thing to think about. It's those soft rays of sunlight that are coming up early in the morning, just over the hills, and it's not bright and glaring yet, you know, it's just sort of this warm light that's just starting to wake everyone up. Finally, next to cantabile, the composer writes, quarter note equals 88. And that is really helpful because that gives us an indication of about the tempo our composer would like us to play. And 88 tells us how many beats we're going to play, how fast those beats are going to be. And if you put that into your metronome, this is 88, 2, 3, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So now we have a better understanding of what the composer intends. The next thing I like to do is check out the dynamics. I do a little walkthrough and make sure that we've got all of our dynamics. We know that dynamics mean how softly we play and how strongly we play, okay? So right at the very beginning, you'll notice that we have 2 measures of rest, and that's because our accompaniment will be playing in those bars. And then we come in measure 3 with a P for piano. And P means very soft, okay? Very light and very soft. And we stay piano for quite a while until measure 9. We are going to grow. We see these 2 lines going across. That is a crescendo, which means we are going to grow all the way until our next dynamic marking, which comes in bar 12. And that is forte, forte with an accent. So we're going to take all 3 bars to gradually grow, each note getting gradually louder than the other. We want to avoid things like waiting too long and then suddenly getting louder at the end, or what often happens is we see that crescendo, so we suddenly just get really loud really quick, and then we have nowhere to go. So we want to really focus on taking our time, getting all the way up there, and then we have a forte accent, so we're going to really make sure that that note is felt. It's 2 notes even. You're going to play a double stop, and we're going to focus on coming right together. See if we can hear this. playing right at the same time and avoiding things like this. Right? That's what we call a flam, where the notes are not hitting at the same time. So when we get to that bar 12, we're going to try to play right together. Fantastic. We carry on, measure 13 and 14. We're making a gradual diminuendo to mezzo piano. Finally, second to last bar, we have a P for piano. And above that bar, you see the letters R-I-T. Okay? Now that is an abbreviation for a ritardando, which means we're going to slow down. Okay? We're just going to really slow down and relax into our morning. Okay? We haven't had our breakfast yet. And we're about to sit down at the table and eat our breakfast. Okay? So when you hear the accompaniment will help guide you. And when you practice with your accompanist, you guys will work that out together, exactly how slow you'll get. Okay? Finally, I look at a couple of things before I get started, and sticking is really important. Sticking is what tells us which hands we're going to play. And we use sticking to help create phrasing. And we also use sticking to help us get in position to make a transition easier. Sometimes you find that you're up here on your left hand and your next note is way over here, so you don't want to have to cross this over. So we decide that we're going to start a certain way so that that becomes open. That's something you really want to work out with your teacher and make sure that you're working that out. Not everyone's going to stick everything the same, and I totally understand that. But I will tell you that there are a few cases here that I think are important. Just from the beginning in measure 5, I like to just play those right, right, left, left. Okay? We have 2 and 3 and right, right, left, left. And then as we go on from that measure, in measure 6, we have 1, 2, and then I play left, right, left, so that it's easier to just step down. And then we say 1, 2, left, right, left. Okay? Left, right, left, as we're moving down. Measure 9, 10, 11. Measure 11 on beat 2. I certainly want to start that with my left. We're going to grow there. 3 and 4, right, left, together, right? 2, and starting with your left, left, right, together, both notes. Okay? And the only other thing I think that is really important to point out here is just the very end. This is something you don't have to do, but I think it's very fun. Is just at the end, when we play the rallentando, you're going to play C, 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 B, C. And if you notice my hand here, I come in and I just mute that B just before. Might not be relevant if you're playing this on a xylophone, but if you're playing on a glockenspiel, you can eliminate that ring and it sort of has this nice lift at the end. Right, left, right, muting that B so that it disappears. Okay, I think we're ready for a play along. Let's go ahead and do that. I will count along with you with the metronome. And then after that, I'll have another play along where I'm going to count you in. You can play along with the accompaniment, okay? Okay, let's start our play along here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take it a little bit slower. I'm going to take this down to quarter note equals 72. I'm going to count aloud with you, and hopefully you're also counting aloud. I think that's a really good thing to do to help solidify your time. And the other thing I'll say just before we get started, something that we like to think about with all the tuned percussion solos is our placement of the note. We talk about it in timpani a lot, and in glockenspiel and xylophone, all those instruments, it's very important. So we're going to aim for playing in the centers of every bar, okay? And we want to keep that consistent, always playing in the same spot, okay? Here we go. This is quarter note equals 72. When I count us in, we're going to start directly on bar 3 where we begin playing, okay? We're not going to worry about those 2 bars of rest right now. 1, 2, 3, play. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, rest. 2, 3, right, right, left, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. 1 and 2, 3. 1, 2. We're growing here. 2, growing more. Left, right, left, right. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, and 3. Diminuendo. 3, 1, 2. Left, right. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, and 3. 1. Now you'll notice I ignored the metronome right at there at the end, and you'll notice I came out because we have that retardando, so we're going to make it very deliberate. 1, 2, and 3, and 1. Okay? Feel like you're really settling down there. I hope you're having fun. This is a beautiful, beautiful piece. It's a lot of fun to play with the accompaniment. And as always, as a Percussioner member, you have access to the audio tracks. You can download all those audio tracks and put them on your phone or whatever and play along with them. Or just play along with the videos. That's what'll come next. We'll have a little countdown and you can come right in with the solo. Hope you're having fun. Talk to you later. 1, 2, 3, play. 2, 3.